Print advertising just has to be compelling, like any other advertising. But the fact is that because we are bombarded with so much stuff on paper, whether that's magazines like your Woman's Day or New Idea, or whether it happens to be letterbox brochures, flyers and pamphlets that you have stuffed in your letterbox, whether it happens to be door hangers, and that's something which I'll touch on throughout this particular video, because I think it's an unbelievable opportunity that not many people use, door hangers. Okay, the fact is that because we are bombarded with stuff that is on paper, there's a very good chance that most of us fall into the category of, oh look, yeah, just another one, just another one, just another one. And I'm not saying that what I'm suggesting here is a mantra is not just as important when you talk about electronic advertising, be it online or be it TV or radio, but certainly in the print medium, which still in this day and age plays a significant role for all of us who promote our products or services. You just have to go through the process of making sure that you deliver a solution to someone's problem. Simple as that. Make sure that you understand what your prospect's problem is, and then just give them the solution. It's really, really easy. And I thought what I'd do is run through a few examples here of just people who are either on serious drugs or they just don't have a clue, and you do scratch your head and think to yourself, look, I think you better go back and get a job, because if you continue to do advertising like this, you can't be in business for very long. And let me show you one of these, okay? This happens to be called Dream Bedroom and Furniture. And let me just bring that closer to the camera, okay? And the ad I'm talking about is this one here, okay? And they're selling furniture. Let me just read out the copy on this so that at least we know exactly what they're selling, okay? They are at Ashmore Road in Bundall on the Gold Coast. They're called Dream Bedding and Furniture. They have lift chairs, which obviously are for, most likely older people, okay? And then they have adjustable beds, which again, probably for people who may be seniors. And it goes on to tell you here they've got some finance and what have you else, okay? Let's just critique this ad though and show you how silly it is. What do you think the thing is that they're missing in the first instance? What's something that really, really jumps out to you that this ad is missing right now? And I will give you 5 seconds to be able to write that down and then see if you win the gazillion dollars, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The big answer is, drum roll, they are missing people. There are no people. They should get this lady and bring they should get that lady and bring her over here, put her into one of the seats, okay? She's happy in the saddle, so therefore put her in a new saddle, for God's sake. It's an article, of course, it's got nothing at all to do with this ad, but I just thought I would try to be funny. Okay, it has no people. It has no people. And if you're going to be selling furniture, then do what Harvey Norman does and what Nick Scali does and what a whole bunch of other furniture retailers do who have a clue when it comes to marketing, and that is they feature people in their advertisement. So that is a big, big, big mistake that particular advertiser has done. If you are if you're selling a restaurant or cafe, do you think you would show an empty cafe, an empty restaurant? And I'm guessing that because you're hopefully agreeing with this philosophy that I've got in terms of marketing products or services and featuring real people in your ads, I'm guessing you go, no, JD, I would not do that. I would never ever just show an empty anything. If I was selling a swimming pool, I would show the kids and the family jumping in the swimming pool. If I was selling a barbecue, I would show humans using and enjoying the barbecue. If I was showing dining room furniture, I would have a family around the dining room table and chairs enjoying themselves and showing just how it can fit 8 people around the table. I would never do that, JD. Well, guess what? I have been speaking at some club events, and when I say club, I mean your RSLs and your leagues clubs and your bowling clubs, okay? That is an industry which really intrigues me, because I think to a large degree it's caught in a time warp. I think it really is. And I think the reason that a lot of the smaller clubs are either folding or amalgamating with bigger clubs, and that's what's happening in that industry, by the way, over the last 5 or 6 or 7 years, is because they just don't have a clue when it comes to marketing. You see, in the old days when clubs had poker machines as an exclusive domain, in other words, hotels didn't have gaming machines, they could open up their doors and people would just flood in. I can remember, my goodness, when I was back in my 20s, I had to wait 6 months just to be considered as a member of St George Leagues Club in Sydney. There was a waiting list. Well, those days are gone. Most of the clubs now are quite happy to offer you membership for $3 or $5 a year. because times are much tougher for them. And I think they went to sleep and just let the years roll by without recognising they needed to become good marketers. And when I've been speaking at a couple of club events recently, I brought up on the big screen, as I was speaking on stage, ludicrous homepages of websites. And the reason they were ludicrous, aside from just the bad design anyway, was because right up front on the web page, they actually showed their restaurant or their cafe empty. And I went through about half a dozen clubs. I said they were all laughing in the audience, but I think they were laughing at themselves, because a few of them said to me later on, "Oh my God, I hope you don't bring our website up on the screen." They were laughing because it was ridiculous, and they didn't realise it was ridiculous until I highlighted to them. They would show on the home page of that particular club a completely empty restaurant. And they'd say, "Come to our beautiful restaurant." Well, why would you? No one else obviously is. Okay? That's crazy. That would be like McDonald's showing an empty restaurant and trying to tell you that they're successful. Can you imagine Disneyland showing a photograph of an empty Main Street, that no one was going into the Disneyland castle? I don't think so. So therefore, please, whatever product or service you've got, make sure you don't make the mistake that this people with Dream Bedroom and Furniture have made, whereby they're just showing pretty ordinary looking chairs and beds. By the way, let me just come back to this ad again. Have a look at the beds here. I mean, the fact is that they're folding. Hang on, give me a second. I'll just get it close to the camera. You'll see there that they're folding beds, because obviously they're looking after seniors who might not, be as active as they used to be. So this particular company, is, I'm guessing, targeting seniors. This was from a seniors newspaper, so therefore you'll see underneath there the scooters and mobility products as well. Okay. Don't even ask me why I was reading a seniors newspaper. Stop that sarcasm. Okay. I don't want to hear any comments from you. No, the reason I picked it up, to be honest with you, is that we've got a client who has come on board recently who offers travel packages to seniors, and he's been advertising in the seniors magazine and newspaper, so therefore I wanted to have a look at what other advertisers were in there. But these beds here go up and down. They help the senior people get out of bed and so forth. They should be having not only people actually working the machine, but also people, guess what, giving a testimonial. People saying, "Look, this is marvellous. I found it very difficult in the last couple of years to get out of bed because I'm suffering from sciatica, or I've got a sore hip, or my knees aren't what they used to be. But the great thing with this bed is now that I just press a little button and it just fires me up against the bedroom wall." No, it doesn't, but you know what I mean. Okay, I can now do the 4-minute mile. That might be exaggerating just a little. Now let me criticise some other businesses. I love doing this. It's just really, really good to be a know-all. And as you may or may not know, of course, I'm really, really good at everything. And one of my greatest assets is my humility. Okay, the fact that I don't go on about being the expert. Okay, let me show you this one. I'll bring it in front of the camera if we get our overhead camera onto this. This happens to be the Forestry Corporation of New South Wales, and they've taken out a full page ad in, again, the Seniors magazine. I obviously ripped a few pages out of that. And they're saying the Forestry Corporation is a proud finalist and sponsor of the New South Wales Tourism Awards. So that's the headline there, okay? My reaction to that is, who cares? Who cares? Okay, and it talks about the Sealy Lookout, and it's an award-winning forest sky pier at Sealy Lookout, and looks at another lookout, and they go, is that the most boring, sort of forestry corporation ad you could possibly ever think of? There is just basically, they've vomited 2 or 3 photos here. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know what that is. It's maybe it looks like a building of some sort, and they've let someone loose on the outside of it. It says nothing. It says nothing. The Forestry Corporation of New South Wales is a proud finalist and sponsor of Tourism Awards. What it should do is say to you why they are a sponsor. What it should be doing is saying, look, the reason the Forestry Corporation has become a sponsor of the Tourism Awards is because we want to make it known to everyone just how important our forestry is throughout, New South Wales. And did you know that 1.7 million people trekked through our forest in the last 12 months and had enjoyed the barbecues facilities and the swimming holes and the bushwalks and all those trails that we have? And if you weren't one of those 1.7 million people, well, guess what? This is what you're missing out on. And then you would actually highlight some of the things that they're missing out on, and you would probably have 2 or 3 or 4 testimonials. from people of different age groups. There might be someone who's a Gen Y, a Gen X, there might be a baby boomer, and there might be a senior. And because their target audience, I don't know who their target audience is to get to come through the New South Wales forests, but the point is that whoever they are, they should be actually using samplings of them for testimonials. So therefore, if you happen to be in your 30s and there's a Gen X there saying, you know what, it was fantastic, I could take my wife and our, a couple of very small children under 5, we had a wonderful barbecue, we could jump in the swimming hole, blah, 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 blah. Then of course, if you were in that particular age group and you were reading that ad, there's a good chance you'd go, yeah, okay, that's good. You see, the thing is that there's a thing called reason why advertising technique. And I think what we all have to understand is that, when we offer our products or our services to anyone, we've got to give them a reason why they should use it. And yes, my problem solution scenario comes into play. Well, the reason why is because you've got a problem and I can provide you with the solution. Now, that's a pretty good reason why. But there are other times that people decide to give away, it might be a half-yearly sale, and you want to get rid of dead stock. You know that I'm not a fan of marketing on price, but I do understand why Myer and David Jones every 6 months have a half-year sale. They got their Boxing Day one and they got the half-year one. That gets rid of a lot of dead stock and allows them to start afresh. And what you should do if you are doing that is to make sure you've got a reason why. Now, their reason why is because they're coming into a new financial year, mid-year, and so therefore they want to clean out all the stock they've got to start afresh. And the Boxing Day one, well, of course, that's obvious. The reason why is because, look, we want to get rid of all the stuff we didn't sell at Christmas time because we're starting afresh on January 1. Now, if you're having a sale and you do decide to have a big expo, then explain to everyone why you're having it. Just give the reason why we're doing this, because as it turns out, taxation time is just around the corner, and so therefore we want to make sure that we've got rid of as much stock as we have so that we're not paying tax on that whilst it's sitting in our warehouse. Or it might be that we're opening up a brand new branch of our business in Melbourne, and we want to really get rid of all of our old stock at the moment, and that's why we're having this big expo sale. Give them a reason why. People will react to you much, much more stronger if they have a valid reason why you're doing something. Okay, let me go through a couple of other things here. I think we've got one here. Okay, this is the Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary. Let me just show you this. I'll hold it up to the camera. Okay, so that is the Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary, which is a theme park here on the Gold Coast, and that is about the most boring ad I've ever seen. Again, this comes from the Seniors magazine, so at least they've got the photo right. Okay, they didn't show a couple of youngsters there, but look at the rest of it. Look at the rest of that, and I'll read out the copy to you. It says, Currumbin Wildlife Sanctuary has many new attractions for families to share long-lasting memories. Take your family to the Gold Coast's #1 wildlife attraction and receive great senior discounts on day and annual entry. Kids under 4 are free. Okay, now just look how boring that is. That is absolutely boring. If you're going to show a couple like that, why wouldn't you actually have a comment from them? Why wouldn't you have them saying something like, I've just never been here before, or it's been 5 years since we've been here and I'm just amazed with the changes? And why would you have them just cuddling up and, basically with their hands around each other? Why wouldn't you have them cuddling a koala or a kangaroo? Or even better, a crocodile. It would be good if they could just maybe cuddle a crocodile. I think it'd make a good ad. Get them involved. Look at this. Let me just show it to you again. There's, Beryl and Jim. They could be on the front porch of their own home. And there's nothing there to say that they're at the wildlife sanctuary. And then what we do, we have over here pictures of kids who are not even in the age group. I mean, you can argue they might be grandchildren, but by the same token, I think it would be better if you're in a seniors magazine to be concentrating on the seniors. Okay, who else can I criticise? Oh, I've got to bring this one up. Real estate agent again. Now look at this. This is the Tamborine Mountain Real Estate Office, and they've decided, of course, to go with, fair enough, if their company colours are pink, it wouldn't be something I would do, but their company colours are obviously pink. And look what they've done here. They've said they've got a new office opening, and this is what it looks like. Now, would you, if you're thinking about selling your home, immediately get hard nipples and say, oh my God, quick, darling, sweetheart, get here. We've got to sell our home through these people. Look at their office shop front. That is just gorgeous. And I have to say that it's better than their previous one, which looks like Auntie Mary's cottage. But that is crazy. That is crazy. First of all, the picture of the little staff down here looks like something out of a school tuck shop brochure. And then secondly, who wants to know, or who even cares about what their office looks like? That's crazy. What they should be doing, if you're a real estate agent, and you are wanting to attract my attention, you're looking for someone who's at least mildly considering selling their home. So you either want me as an appraisal, because apparently the numbers are that for every 10 appraisals, and that is a valuation of your home, that they get, they normally get 1 or 1.5 listings. Now that will differ from agency to agency, but across the board, normally for every 10 or 11 or 12 appraisals, they pick up a listing. So therefore, if you're after an appraisal so that you can get a listing, wouldn't it be smarter, instead of showing a photo of your ugly office, wouldn't it be smarter to say, you know what, would you like to sell your home for above the reserve or above expectations in 11 days? Because guess what, we just did that. And you're probably saying, hang on, what do you mean? Well, every agent who I've ever spoken to, when I've asked them, did they just get lucky once or twice or 4 times, whereby they put a home on the market, they got above the price that the owner was, hoping to get, and they sold it in a record time, like 14 days or 11 days or 21 days. And they go, yeah, no, we've had one of those or 2 of those. It doesn't happen every day. We wished it did. And I go, well, that's all you need, okay? So then you just simply say to someone, look, if you're interested in selling your property or getting an appraisal, guess what? Why wouldn't you come to us? Because if you're interested in selling, I bet you'd love to sell that in 11 days for probably more money than what you thought you were going to get. Guess what? We just did that. Now, you're not promising that you're going to do that for them, and you'll make that very clear when they come in and talk to you. But boy, would that get their attention instead of showing them a photo of the front of your real estate agent? Of course it would. Of course it would, okay? And so therefore, grab that unique wow factor that you might have. Well, when I say unique, probably every agent sold something in a week or 2, because, that just happens. It's a freak of nature. But no one else will do that. You can do it. The whole idea is that you say to them, listen, what I will do is that I will actually do my damnedest to replicate that, what I've done in the past, but I can't guarantee it. But I'm glad you're here with me now. Let me show you all the other things we've done. There's no way that they'd get anyone in front of them if it was just based on showing an ad which basically showcased the front of their shop, for God's sake. So therefore, I guess the lesson that I want you to learn here is, number 1, consider a reason why someone should be dealing with you. And that means that you should highlight that. And number 2, when you're actually going to be selling anything, doesn't matter what it is, make sure that you recognize it's only people who will buy from you. Not dogs, not cats, not giraffes, but people. So if your target audience is people, make sure you put people in your ad. Pretty simple.